Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is more bad business content, and this is a video that I did not expect to upload. I had no intentions of uploading this because I don't think it's a particularly special gameplay, but what it does do is it kind of isolates the mentality of the average player, a player that you bump into a lot in competitive games, a player that has a stunted and lacking imagination. And I wanted to share this more so to prove a point to this person. If they ever see this video, it can mark as a big fuck you, which is always fun. And I just found it so interesting and such a catchy tagline that I couldn't help but share it. I'm using the TAR assault rifle, which is my least favourite assault rifle in the game at the moment. I don't have all the attachments, but I feel like this gun is just nowhere near as good as the other guns. I can do so much better with the other weapons. I feel like this is a hit marker machine. Unless you hit headshots on this gun, it really doesn't do much. And everybody told me it was one of the best guns. If I'd have bought it, I would be pissed off because I don't like it. And hopefully in time I'll learn to use it better and feel a bit better about it and get a good setup. But as it stands, I'm not liking this gun too much. But this gameplay is a standard TDM on Tides. I'm going to be running around. I'm going to be testing out the new healing ability that I've unlocked on my road to unlocking all the tools, and I think the healing ability is objectively the best ability in the game, because if you give it to a good player, he's going to be able to stay alive much longer than he can before, and he's going to become even more difficult to kill. But one of the things I have noticed is, because I play on American servers a lot, and because I have a lot of ping, I get damage stacked in this game. And if you notice in this gameplay, when I start taking damage, I react to it and I try to move, be evasive, or beat the person shooting me. I do my best to get myself out of that situation. And what has happened a lot with this healing since I've got it is when I get hit, I'll react, I'll press the heal, and I'm already dead, and I can hear the noise after I'm dead because the network has stacked the damage immediately onto me, and I got client-sided, and I have no chance to react. And in most fights when I have a chance to react, I can generally do something about it. But my playstyle, because it is very aggressive and I like to run around, this is a Roblox shooter for God's sake, why would you want to play this head glitching, fucking tilting, leaning like it's some kind of Rainbow Six Championships? I have no idea. But I don't care that much about dying, and I don't care that much about being killed. This game for me is aim training. That's all it is, guys. It's like Kovacs. It's my Kovacs, and it just so happens to be mechanically one of the most enjoyable shooters I've played in a while. But that leads us to this video, and I wouldn't normally upload this because, as I've mentioned, there's only one part of this gameplay that I thought was quite interesting, which is a flick that I do, but everything else is just kind of... I'm not performing as good as I know I can, I'm using a gun I don't like, and nothing is really exceptional. Nothing is where it needs to be. I'm very competitive, I like to be the best I can be, and it's just impossible to do that sometimes. But at the end of this gameplay, there is a player who accuses me of cheating, and shock horror, right? It's not the first time it's happened, it's not the last. But this player goes kinda deep on it, and at this moment in time I'm currently getting the clips from the footage of me getting to 2nd prestige, and I'm turning them into a montage. And when I'm playing the game and people accuse me of cheating, I like to interact with them, I like to be quite aggressive, try to bait them into responding and getting angry at me, so that I can use those clips in the montage to add a little bit of levity, to add some humour. And I tried to do it in this game at the end, but the people were just very different types of players, and the way they reacted is unlike anything I've seen. It was this notion that they're not very good at the game. They know that, but they know I'm cheating because nobody can be that good. And it just boggles my mind, because it leads me to something that I say to this person in the discussion at the end of the video. This idea that your lack of imagination does not stop something from being possible. And you could compare it to the notion that, you know, any new emergent technology to a primitive person is indistinguishable from magic because they don't have a frame of reference. But the problem is, guys, when you see something and you immediately call it magic instead of something that can be learned and understood, is you're going to essentially delude yourself into a very stunted thought process where you will not see the world for what it really is, and you will never be able to evolve and improve. And I feel like this player is like a lot of players in modern, you know, competitive video games, where when you're playing PvP against another person, people use all these kind of mental gymnastics to get out of the idea of losing, and to get out of the notion that they're not as good as somebody else and that their ego is threatened and they have to react in a certain way. And it's not a very healthy reaction to this stuff, even though you can understand it in the heat of the moment, because all it does is it damages your development. And I do know that there are a lot of people who play video games now who vilify this notion of trying to win. And I fervently believe that those people do that because they adopt that nihilistic perspective because they've never tried and succeeded at something. And it's a lot easier to say you don't care and not try than it is to put in the time, get better, and show results when it's needed of you. And I really don't like that mentality. It's a very entitled, it's a very self-important, it's a very instant gratification, bohemian bullshit, essentially. That was the part that I enjoyed, by the way. That was when my aim felt good. Everything else is pretty disappointing. But the notion that you can't comprehend another player doing really well in a video game, so it has to be cheats, I think is a wonderful, like, psychological loophole to jump into, because you're essentially giving yourself an out for not being able to compete with me. You're essentially saying that this person is breaking and circumventing the game's rules, and thus there was nothing anybody could have done. When in reality, you might be watching this video right now, you might see me missing shots, you might see me moving aggressively, making mistakes, not moving as I should, and being reckless and what have you, and you might see holes and gaps and areas that you can exploit, because as you know, watch this, by the way, this is my only death, and I got stuck on the stupid fucking sticky scenario that happens in this map sometimes. Wasn't happy about that death, I can tell you that. But it's an interesting thing, isn't it, this? I can't do it, so it cannot be done. I find that to be so crazy. Because if you know anything about my channel, and if you know anything what I've done on the internet of these last few years, like, I love the idea of being challenged to do something. I love the idea of doing something that people don't think is possible. And I don't think performing well in a first-person shooter, where the majority of people who play aren't playing very seriously on serious equipment and really investing time to get good at it, I don't see that as something that is difficult to do. I don't see that as something that is a mark of excellence. As I've mentioned, I play this for the aim training, practicality more than anything, and the fact that it's really, really fun. So this mindset just, it kind of threw me off guard. And I played a bunch of games after this one, and I ended up having a lot of fun and messing around with the double barrel shotgun, which I'm horrible with, but it's a ton of fun to use. And it was that thing of, I want to put this video up as a fuck you to that mentality and that mindset. And if that person ever sees this video, it'd be just wonderful to see that I'm not using aimbots, I'm not using fucking wall hacks, I'm not using all these magical excuses that you'll pull out your ass because you lost to me. I'm just playing a game, and apparently I am better than you, and I am naturally good at it, which I think is bollocks, considering that I'm now Prestige 2 level 40, and to get to Prestige 2 level 40 has took like 30, 40, 50 hours or however long I've put in the game. So this notion of naturally having an affinity and an aptitude to a game is stupid. It's just another one of those mental gymnastics that people do, those apologetics that they tell themselves, so that they can get out of putting in the time, putting in the work to actually get good at something. Because guess what, guys? My aim in this game was fucking built. It was earned. Every mistake, every misflick, every garbage moment is mine.
More than 30 kills and less than 10 deaths usually means they're cheating in some way.
Maybe try shooting back, Cupid you're used but
I know I am, but nobody is that good naturally.
don't accuse people of hating used because they're better.
I don't think you can get that many kills and only die once.
Exactly.
That's because you can't imagine it.
I rarely accuse people of cheating in this game. I know I'm bad. The point is you can't be that good. The point is you can't be that good.